Welcome to Friday's Loose Mandem with Solomon Gordon, Kyle Taylor featuring Joshua Gray and Kamaar Brown.
Hello and welcome to your Friday's episode of Loose Mandem. I'm in the hot seat today, but Kamaar will be back in the chair next week. So coming up in the next 40 minutes, we'll be discussing the latest news that everyone is talking about, via gender norms, and towards the end of the show, we'll be playing a game of Loose Mandem Does Guess the Celebrity. Well, sit back, grab something to drink or eat, because that's today's Loose Mandem. Now, the death of Sarah Everard has sent shockwaves all over the country, leading to protests that have been violently disrupted by police. However, two sisters of colour, Nicole Smallman and Bieber Henry, were stabbed to death in London Park back in June. However, the mother of the two stated that the fact that these girls were black had played a part in the Met's slow approach to the case in comparison to the findings of Sarah Everard. Now, so the question is, do you think race has played a huge factor in the slow response to searching for missing persons from the police? What do you think, Kyle?
I can't give a definite answer on that. I can't say it did, because there are many cases of slow response time when it comes to knife crime in London, because knife crime is so high. There is a chance it was due to race, but I saw, when trying to look up for some information, some statistics on this, there wasn't really any. It was just showed me other cases, and I found other cases with white families dealing with knife crime, and it's taking a long time to do so. So when it comes down to it, I can't give a definite answer if it was to do with race. That may be a factor, but either way, there is an issue with slow response time when it comes to London knife crime. So.
How about you, Kamaar? What do you think about this?
Yeah, I'm the same with Kyle. I'm in the middle. Maybe part of race and it maybe not, but I'm in the middle like Kyle. But I'll give some background of the whole Sarah Everard situation. So this is from the Independent. So the Met Police officer Wayne Cousins charged in connection with her disappearance on the 9th of March. Sarah goes missing after leaving a friend's house in Clapham, and that was on Wednesday the 3rd of March. And he was held, and Wayne Cousins was held custody on the Tuesday the 9th of March, and was in suspicion of kidnap before being further arrested on suspicion of murder and a separate allegation of indecent exposure. And on the Friday the 12th of March, police confirmed Sarah Everard's body being found. So that's a little background information about that. But I think they were so quick in towards Sarah Everard's death because I think it was the Met Police, and that's the highest rank of police. So yeah, they probably will take it seriously. But regards to the race thing, we all know there's been systemic racism in the police, without every police. So it's just very hard to.
Yeah, exactly. I agree. Josh, what do you think of this? What's your view on this?
I mean, I can see why people would think that race is like a factor of it, but I don't think that it might have been as big of a factor as maybe other factors, because obviously the police have been losing funding for many years, and also we don't know how much evidence they had on different cases. So it could have been that the Sarah Everard case, they had CCTV footage on all of this different evidence on it. So it might have just been partly down to them having more evidence of it, and because they have more evidence of it, they saw more chance of it getting solved in a faster time period, and therefore they put more assets towards it. Right, so I can see it being more of them having to switch their assets around based on what cases they think they can solve particularly fast, rather than it being race. Although it could partly, but I don't think.
I mean, I mean, I agree. I mean, well, the mother of the two daughters that was stabbed, she had support from Sarah Everard's family, and she even stated that it's not just people of race who are, facing this issue. It is many people, specifically women, black women, and women of all races, which is fair. And to build upon that, though, with another question, do you think the response from the police were appropriate when disrupting the Sarah Everard Vigil? So if you heard of the whole protests and stuff, the police came in and they were quite violent with some of the protesters. Do you think that was appropriate or no? Kamaar.
No, I don't really think it was appropriate, and people want the Met to apologise about their disruption and their towards that when they did that communion for Sarah Everard in Clapham. Yeah, you can protest, but when I was seeing videos online, the public were fighting with the police and manhandling a member of the public I don't know her name, and she was on Good Morning Britain about it. But people are petitioning and protesting that Cressida Dick should resign from the Met for handling with the case. But I just think we should come together to protest. And I know you have police at every protest, but there's a way you can do it. That's not risking harming others. And
How about you, Kyle?
I think the way they handled it was obviously terrible, but I understand why the police went there in the first place. There seems to be there isn't a consistency with what protest is and who can protest and when it can be done. I think the police were there, they didn't really know what they had to do, and I think they handled it terribly. But I think a lot of the police, they don't know. There's been a lot of aggressive anti-lockdown protests. Yeah. So I believe the police might have gone in there not thinking it was an anti-lockdown, but expecting similar reactions. So they went in aggressively when they didn't need to. Yeah. And I think as a country we need to figure out, are we allowing protests? Yes. Then we've got to allow all protests. We can't, unless they get violent, then But if we're allowing protests, we need to allow all protests. If we're only allowing certain protests, I mean, Piers Morgan, he was fully against the anti-lockdown process, saying they're spitting on each other, they're spreading the virus. And although I think anyone can protest, when it came to the BLM protests, he was fully for it. Right. And when people brought up the same concerns he had, he was shutting them down. I just think anyone should be allowed to protest. Yeah. And I think that's why the police were so violent. They didn't know they had dealt with these anti-lockdown protests, which were, full of aggressive people. And then when you get to this, they just went in expecting the same.
Exactly. I mean, COVID does play a big part in this as well. I mean, it doesn't matter what your viewpoint is, the overall consensus say that, COVID is a big part in spreading the virus, and doing protests is quite detrimental to people's health, which is fair. But would you say that this is true, Josh? In terms of the protests and how the police handled it?
I mean, it's obviously the police handled it, as you lot have said, that they handled it poorly. But I mean, coming from if you try and see it from the police's position, let's say, where you've got a large group of people, you can understand why someone might have made a snap judgment, and tried to shut it down. However, I feel like there were better ways of shutting it down without being so aggressive towards it.
Yeah, I agree. But slowly moving on though, in regards of in regards of women, a former teacher named Candice Barber, she has had allegations against her when she had groomed a 15-year-old boy, and she is the mother of 3 children who all are around the same age of the victim, and she has been sentenced to 6 years in jail. Of course, there are always two sides to every story, but in the meantime, there's an overwhelming amount of evidence that condemns the teacher. I mean, so the question is, do you think that she has a long sentence or not? And that's going to Josh.
I mean, if you look at the crime, which is having sexual relations with a minor and whilst in a position of power over the minor, I mean, I did look into it a slight bit, like, and I feel like 6 years might have been quite short for it. Since it like, if you think about it, let's say this was a male doing it, I feel like the sentence would have been longer. Partly because males generally get longer sentences, but also it's because, but at the same time, I feel like she could have been given a longer sentence also because just the amount of evidence that they had. Like it was very clear that she'd probably that the allegations were probably true.
Yeah. It's very damning. I mean, even I was in talking with Kamaar about this as well. I mean, even her husband was defending her. Where's your stance on that?
Yeah, because you're right. Because this is from the BBC about the amount of evidence she gave. She's also said to have sent the young boy topless picture of herself on Snapchat, which end up being passed around the Buckinghamshire school, and you just think, won't you be ashamed of yourself as a teacher? I know you hear like stories of pupils doing it to other pupils, but as a teacher, you just think, really? And yeah, the husband as well, he was by his side, but I think I would just want to leave her. Unaware. And she's got, kids for, of herself, and you're having sexual intercourse with another pupil, but, is aged like your son. You're thinking,
how do you not see your own children?
Exactly. She could have done it to her own children.
Yeah. At the end of the day, though, I mean, I agree that it's wrong to defend her. However, I mean, given that her husband, I mean, you can't really just erase feelings for your partner just like that. You know what I mean? It takes time to do that, but it's still wrong to do so.
But like the amount of evidence that the police have got on her, you're thinking, do I really want to marry you? Do I really think you're suitable to be my wife or to bring up my kids? It's just
but the husband has come out on record and said that he will wait for her while she's in prison.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm thinking, are you in the right mind? I know it's your wife, but why would you go back to that vile creature?
Now, there was even a small amount of evidence showing that she's been like this for the longest time, because there was a guy who will remain nameless for now, who was in a relationship with her, and she did very weird things. I mean, call it a fetish or anything like that. Okay, that's fair, but it got to a point where he was uncomfortable with it, and she continued to do it. Where's your stance on that, Kyle? Do you think it's?
I think it's weird to hear you say that. I think we hear that all the time. I just believe that if you had a story of a man that made multiple women feel uncomfortable and his underage student feel uncomfortable, it wouldn't be a question. The wife would leave him. We wouldn't even be talking about it. We would be like, oh, that happened. He's now in prison. End of story. Yeah. But we're talking about it. It's a question. Why is it a question? I think it's because she's a woman. I genuinely do believe that. I don't think it's a conscious decision to be sexist, but I think, men get heavier sentences, and what she's done is horrific. I don't understand how it's a question that she slept or had sexual relations with an underage kid, a boy. It shouldn't be a question. It should be, he should leave her. That man has now said, her husband has now said, I'm going to stay with this woman. I'm going to wait for this woman who not only has cheated on me before, has had relations with a 15-year-old boy. I don't understand it. It's not a logical position, and I feel like questions like that are becoming more prevalent, where things that used to be pretty clean cut are now being questioned when I don't think they need to be. I don't know.
Yeah. It is a very, very weird
again, it's clear that she's done it. It's clear that, because the evidence is damning against her, and yet she's only got a very short sentence. Again, in comparison to a male who would have done it, who would have got an even longer sentence.
I don't think she's one thing as well. I don't think she's a paedophile.
Okay.
I want to make that very clear because 15-year-old boys look like me. We're 17. You look like a man. With your beard. And I think we do look adult enough, and I can understand someone getting attracted, but she's a predator as she was in a position of power.
True.
She knew. It's not like she went out on a night and slept with this dude and he turned out to be a 15-year-old. It's not that. She knew he was 15. She was in a place of power, and as you said before, there's clear fetishes, and she's premeditated. She's wanted to do this. This isn't.
Yeah, I mean, there were discussions. I mean, they did exchange texts. I mean, I believe there was some form of consent in there, but even then, she did exchange texts where she was damning the husband as well, saying that he's nothing compared to you, etc., etc. Rather some specific.
Manipulation.
Yeah, that's it.
That's manipulating the kid to feel like he's almost earned a right to be with her.
Exactly. But obviously more on that when the story continues. But that's it for our news discussion. But please stay tuned, because after the break we will be discussing gender norms and playing a game of Loose Mandem does Guess a Celebrity. See you in a minute. Right, welcome back. Still to come, all our panelists will be playing Guess the Celebrity. Hopefully one of them will win, like me, and guess the song. But hopefully time will tell. First now, we move on to gender norms debate, which is an easy question, fingers crossed. So, does the guy or girl pay the bill on a date? What do you think, Josh?
Split it.
Split it.
Yeah. I mean, it depends, but I mean, generally, I'd say split it, unless you're going to have another one, and then you can pay it, and then the next one she can pay it. But I mean, I've not got a lot of money, so I'm not rolling in money. I can't pay it.
Wait. So, alright, so pretend you meet someone of your, online or dating app, and you think like, yeah, this is for me, right? Alright, you may have a job when when you have a full-time job, wouldn't you like take a certain lump sum out of your wage slip and just go on a date with her?
Yes,
then?
but then I would still split it because she's taken part as well.
But question though, let's say you were to ask her out, would you still split it?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would.
She asked me, I'd still split it. If I've asked her, still split
because
it.
you must like me if you want to come on a date with me, or you must be interested in me. in me. So yeah, why do you pay? Because if alright, why I'm saying that because I know, but why I'm saying that for
my presence.
because if alright, say if you pay full and she don't pay and she says, oh, I'm not interested in you no more, and you've paid what say like £200 on a day. Starter for the main full cost meal. Wouldn't you feel away? But you said, oh, should I make her pay half of it?
Yes, you should pay for what she's had. Because I've not had it.
Right, cool.
Okay, but
How is this a question?
But what if she brings up the fact that you asked her out, so it's your obligation to pay?
I won't split it.
No.
You wouldn't split it?
I won't split it. I'm
Why?
very like traditionalist when it comes to that. I think the man, I think it represents how the male should help. But I don't think it represents that anymore. But I just think it's nicer to be on a date and the dude pays. I genuinely think that. I've been on a few dates.
Okay.
Really? How much have we spent on the day?
Oh, bro, I just get like a bread cake. But but I've been on a date and I pay because I feel like that's what the man should do.
Okay, but what if she opts to pay instead of you?
If she opts to pay, she can pay. You don't make someone feel uncomfortable or feel like you. But I think you should at least offer. But if they go, no, we'll split it, then I think you should still have that option to be like, no, I'll pay. Be a gentleman.
Yeah, obviously.
Gentlemen's.
I mean, I will. If I like actually like, it depends what I feel it's gone. So if I like felt, oh, this has gone really well, I might have another one. Okay, I'll pay. But I mean, if it's gone awfully, and she's like, I don't know, like spatting my food or whatever. Like,
Yeah, I guess you
worst
don't-
case
you don't-
scenario.
Yeah.
I'm not paying for her time.
I guess you don't want to be like, you don't want to suck up to the woman, but I think if the date's gone okay, there's nothing wrong with not splitting it and paying for the lady. I think that's.
So that one thing I want to say, if it's if it was, a girl and a girl, lesbians, would it be the girl who asked the other girl on the date?
Yeah, it'd be the initiator, and that's why it's usually a dude because the dude's usually initiating. It's very rare you find.
But sometimes girls,
They do.
propose
They
as well
do.
to go on a date.
I will agree, they do initiate, but I think it's more common for a dude to initiate and he should pay. And if it's a girl, I think whoever initiated it should pay. It should be a treat for the person you've asked, not just a dinner out. You should be treating them, showing them how you're a good partner or good friend.
So would sorry to put you,
correct.
but would you feel aware that you taking her out on a date and then one day she said, oh maybe after she said, oh, I'm not interested yet, and you spent say like £200, wouldn't you feel that way of saying, oh, why did I go out on a date with her, or would you just think, oh, it's an experience, or I liked her, but hey who?
Well, I can't make her like me. I can't. I think if she was like, I'm not really feeling it, I think we should just continue just being friends or whatever. I think that's her choice, and if I've paid for it, I've at least given her a good meal, and I've done my part as at least offering how I could be a good partner. And if she's not for that, well, you move on. I think it'd suck. You'd be like, oh great, I've lost 200 or whatever you spent, but I feel like that's part of being a man, really. That's what you need to do. You need to treat whoever you're with, whether it be a guy or anyone, really.
I see Josh has something
I mean,
to say
but
there.
surely you've got to have like a price limit on it.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Well, yeah.
let's say you've gone to like a really like bougie place, like you're like.
Well, if you've
and
gone
then
to a really...
she's ordered the most expensive thing on the menu, every single thing.
Well,
And
if you have chosen, let's go to this really fancy
we
restaurant.
both agree.
You've gone knowing how much it is.
But you could say that, but she said, oh, can't we go to somewhere that's a bit cheaper, or now I like this?
Then you'd go.
Well,
Nah.
It's a bit. I mean, for me, I would say I would probably. I don't mind either. Either I would split it if she's willing to split it, or whether I'll pay for it. I'm fine with that. I'm cool with that. Only because, I mean, I do agree with the traditional sense and in the new sense of how, yes, you as the man you can pay for the whole of the meal. Two, the fact that you're initiating it and you're asking them out. therefore it's obligated for you to pay for it. That's just fair. And then the fact that you're splitting it, which is fine as well. But that's the offer up though. If she, and I find it funny, if you were to offer up, because usually that's what you would do. If you were to offer up and she would say no, well, immediate red flags.
But you see, like that, I would say if I was to take anybody out, I said, listen, before we do anything, I said, right, we're gonna go here. We're gonna pay half, yeah. If she says no, I know then. But you know, if I like her, yeah. But in terms of like a meal, I would just say go halves. I would say that before the date anyway, because if I say that, if I want, you know, if I go on a date with somebody and I think, yeah, that could be, you know, I could marry that person, and when it comes to it, if I've got to pay something, she might think, oh, you paid that because, you know, you paid, you know, you've been paying for, you know, since we met. You got me? So I feel like we should start saying half and then, like, you know, start, you know, saying, oh, let's pay half. And then if we do get married, then she said, oh, can I put some, you know, towards that? And I think, yeah.
The thing is, I mean, it shouldn't just because you get married, you know what I mean? It should be natural. I mean, in a relationships, it's a two-way street. What you give is what you get.
But like if you, like I said, if you are thinking, oh yeah, I could marry that person, and you've paid, you know, you've paid, you know, the date, you paid all the dates you've had. So you know, if you do get married, you're thinking, oh, I don't need to do anything. You can do with that. You got me? But like you said, marriage is a two-way partnership.
That's right.
You got me?
Well,
And you know, that's what thing.
Any relationship is, it's just, you know, it really does depend on either traditional or new age kind of thinking. I mean, I see quite a lot of women now who would like to pay for the date, given that, you know, just gender norms now changing, you know what I mean, trying to strip away this thing where masculinity now, like, you don't have to always be the dominant one, you don't have to always do that. However, you know, it really does depend on whether the female or the other person, doesn't matter who, male or female, how they feel about it, you know, or even their income. Like, you could be asking someone out, but they don't really have a lot to, you know, offer in terms of money-wise. Do you still want to split the bill then, or do you pay for the whole thing? Even Josh, yeah.
I mean, right, so, let's say I've taken a girl out on a date, and then after eating, I found out she could not pay for half. Of course, I then make up the difference, right? But I mean, if Kyle, you said like it should be like a treat, like an experience for both of you. Yes, but at the same time, it's like it shouldn't really be. It should more be about the company, like together.
Yeah.
That should have been the thing that brought joy, not the fact that she's getting a free meal.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Yeah.
So yeah. Obviously, like going down the line, if you're like long-term partners, I can understand why then you might want to, if you can see it going somewhere, like maybe like fourth date or third date in, then you might want to, you know, pay for the full, or one of you might want to pay in full. Yeah. But like for the first two, where it still might just, I don't see a reason in spending a fortune.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
that's fair. But any final thoughts on this stuff?
Yes. The idea that when I said it shouldn't be about, like what you said, it shouldn't be about like she gets free food. I don't necessarily see it as that. I see it as it's a whole package. You invite them out, so now they have no obligation to come out with you. They have no reason to come out with you. Okay. If you have the whole package, which is you pay for dinner, you are great, you're a nice guy, you take them home, you treat them well, then they have a reason for them to come back, and then you can start splitting. Because now they have a reason.
But they do have a reason to come to dinner with me, which is I am a brilliant human being. And clearly,
but I feel like a part of you being a brilliant human being is paying for the meal.
Yeah, but
because you're generous.
Yeah, but you're generous in anyway
there to
of
support.
offering her for the meal anyway. She could have had, thousands of, men asking, if it was a girl, men asking to take her on a date, and then, she might pick, you as a one. You know what I mean? So it could be either way, but I just think it should go half. It's a like that because, like you said. You said that you don't think it's a free meal, but like if you go for a meal, the man pays £200 for everything. She may play like, oh, I like it, and then I'm going to the toilet, fair thing, right? Runs off to the toilet, and then runs off and says, oh, sorry, I'm not interested in you no more. I would feel a certain way. I said, shit, I paid all of this food and I can't take it home. £200 on someone who played me on that day. That's my worry.
But that's a very specific case. You could say the same for splitting it. You could say the same for like, oh, you take this girl out for dinner, or if it's a girl, and you split the meal. You have then split the meal. She now goes off and he's
Yeah, but you would feel a certain way because it's not really that much. You put money into it. But I'm saying is that you've paid for her and yours meal as a whole together. That would be a lot.
I think what it's trying to say is, well, let's say you were to split, but you haven't split yet. But she says, oh, she has to leave or whatever, right? Both haven't paid yet. But then it comes to the point where she's left and she hasn't come back.
Yeah.
Then you're left with the bill and you have to pay that by yourself.
Yeah, and that's
Either
what
way,
I'm saying. I would feel
terrible.
annoyed in that. Yeah.
Either way, you feel awful because either you've agreed to split it and then she's walked out, and then you've ended up having. So you might feel horrible because you've got to pay the full thing. But if you've already said you're going to pay the full thing and then she's walked out, that, in my opinion, would hurt more because that just means that she's not had a nice time.
Exactly.
No,
that's the thing.
Not necessarily
because you've made that choice to pay for her.
Exactly.
So at least oh, I've done what I wanted to do. If you're forced then to be like, oh, now I've
But
got
then
to pay
she
for it
should
all.
give back in return. If you're saying, right, all right, I'm going to pay for something, right, at least stay for the full minute or go home with each other, not just say, all right, yeah, and then said, oh, I'm not interested no more, I'm seeing someone else, ready.
But again, that is a specific
guys,
case.
I would love
Right,
to
yeah,
carry on
let's
this, but because it's a really fruitful debate, but we've got to move on because of time.
Yeah, moving to
But this should be fun though. We are moving on to the next segment of the show, which is time to play Loose Mandem Does Guess the Celebrity. In this game, Josh, Kyle and Kamaar will ask me one by one 2 questions of each who they think this mystery celebrity is. If one of them guesses it correctly, they will get 1 point. If they are near to the answer or guess the example of the type of TV show or a film they are in but cannot name them, they will get half a point. So you guys at home will be able to see who it is, but not these lot. So, right, is everybody ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to ace this because that worked last time.
Really? Yeah. Well, someone wanted to guess the song.
I got 0
Oh,
points.
I am so done.
Yeah, I'm sorry for the black people at home. That was not my fault. I was at the best form yesterday. But anyways,
Oh, I am done.
so first celebrity. I'm gonna list 3 facts about them,
Okay.
and it may be a quote, and then
We asked 2 questions.
yeah, and you ask 2 questions,
Such as if you
or
already know
even
it after one.
or even 2 guesses.
Okay.
Okay, so first celebrity. He played Black Death in Kick-Ass 2. The beauty of any artwork is that it becomes the person that's watching it. That's a
He
quote.
was in Black Panther as the thingy dude.
Well, what's the
The
name?
rhino
So-
dude.
So starred in a 2017 horror film directed by Jordan Peele.
He starred in Get Out. I know that.
Mhm.
Give him half a point for that.
Yeah, I'll give him half a point for that. That's correct.
Wait, the main guy in Get Out.
Yes,
Yeah, what's his name?
he's a British actor.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know on the
Come on, any
poster.
guesses?
On the poster, he's got big
no.
eyes.
Have you seen Get Out?
I think, but I can't remember.
Okay,
I
right.
just don't remember his name.
I'm going round last one.
I'm not gonna get the
No, I'm not gonna
I'm not gonna get it.
You want to get the name? Josh?
Bradley Johnson.
Yes. No, it's not. It's Daniel Kaluuya.
Oh, the Kaluuya, that's what got
Right.
God darn.
Get lost thinking I'm
Right, next
remembering
celebrity,
that.
next celebrity. Now, Kamaar, you should know this. If you don't, then...
Well, is it fair, is it?
Right. So, I would say a quote first. I was sad that Cop's Bride was so short. I would have liked to have had her around for way longer. So, I've just said, one film she was in. The first one. Right?
So it's a woman.
Yes, that's correct. It's implied anyway. So, played a despised witch follower of Voldemort in Harry Potter, and also has played a princess of the royal family in The Crown.
Oh, what's her name? Helen. Oh, sorry.
Helena Bonham Carter.
Correct.
Oh! I said that, you know. I just said the word.
That was too late.
I think she was in that film. What was it called? Sweeney Todd.
Yes,
Demon
Johnny-
of Fleet Street.
For some reason, Johnny Depp and Sweeney Todd, Johnny Depp and Amber
They're
Heard,
always-
they're always in the same.
No, it's
always
because
together.
like she married that
Tim Burton.
Tim
yeah,
Burton in
always,
it, and then he's always in his movies.
Funny enough, Cops, right? It's
So
one
do
of
I
those
get more
movies,
points for all of that?
But yeah.
No,
right.
you don't. No, you don't.
Yes!
I am-
No,
I'm
he gets a point.
guessing.
He gets a point. He gets a
God.
point. He gets a point. You get half a point. You lost 1-0.
I just said the word and I just.
You said
You're
Helen.
almost there.
I
If
got
you
that
continue
from.
with it, you would
I
have
got
won.
that from the name.
Next one, guys. Right. So,
Thanks, mate.
come on, you should know this one as well.
Okay.
Right.
Just say first
So,
name, I'll get it.
I'll say the quote. I got a whole new life ahead of me. Nothing can stop me now. Okay. It's again. That's from the show the person is in. So it has worked with a rapper named after like a coin or money, and also has portrayed a ghost.
Is she black? Is she black?
I mean, yes, that person is black, but it's not she.
So it's a bloke.
Yep.
Oh, what?
Ghost.
Oh,
And just probably done a song with 50 Cent.
No. Just worked with. Doesn't mean
Worked with 50 Cent.
is he tall?
Not necessarily tall. Probably about 5'8".
Kevin Hart.
He's actually shorter than that, believe it or not. But yeah,
I know
no.
he's about 5'6", isn't he?
It's played a ghost.
Played a ghost.
Played a ghost.
Was it Casper the
Oh,
Friendly
played-
Ghost?
Yeah, I mean,
In Scrooged.
ghost is the key word. Worked with a rapper named after a coin.
Go on, say his first name.
No.
Two.
I can't.
Was he the ghost in
Like,
Casper the
no.
Friendly
One.
Ghost? Was he one of them?
Amari Hardwick, who plays James St. Patrick, aka Ghost.
Never would've got
Yeah.
How? No? Okay.
Never
Out
would've
of what?
Right. Everybody on this panel should know this next person.
Oh,
I
God.
bet I was.
Wait, I'm actually
It's a
gonna
famous
know
person.
one.
Right, anyways, let me get to it. So, he was considered one of Michael Jackson's biggest music rivals, as in they both despised each other musically.
Okay.
He was known for a lot of Purple Rain, and he played 27
Prince.
No!
Oh my God!
You want to look at the camera who said it first?
I am brilliant at life.
Oh no!
Mate, I thought they were Prince. I don't even
Mark's
know.
currently on 0, and Josh is on 2. And, I mean, he's doing better than yesterday.
Yeah, I got half point.
Fair play.
Right.
Zero.
Next person.
Come on, dude.
Right,
I'm
come
not
on.
sure.
I need one more.
Not a lot of people might know this one.
I'm not gonna know it then, am I?
You might do. Right. Anyways, so this person has been on Strictly Come Dancing.
Okay, I know this.
She is a British former professional boxer who held the.
Nicola Adams.
Correct.
Oh, I never knew she went pro. I thought she was just that.
I'm
No,
gonna
she
lose
retired.
again.
She
No,
retired
I'm
2
gonna
years
lose
ago.
again.
Oh,
She
fair
retired, yeah.
So, anyways, next person. Okay. If you know him by the song or you know him by the meme, you might know.
It's
Wait. So this songwriter's song from the 80s has become a meme. Okay.
Rick
Rick
Astley.
Astley.
Correct.
No, it's Rick Astley, not Ashley. You got it wrong.
Astley.
No, it's Astley.
It's Astley.
With a T.
It's
Oh,
Astley.
how
No, yeah, just that way. Yeah.
Mate, I need to leave
Next
this
one.
quick.
Now, come on.
Petty.
If you do not get this one, I'm sorry.
It's that
but
person
you
from
are a
EastEnders
disgrace
who's
to the
better.
black community. Like,
Alright, okay. Sorry, right.
Right.
Me, I'm gonna get it.
Okay. So he has played a very high person or high character in a film called Friday. Friends with Michael Jackson and fought with Jackie Chan.
Bruce Lee.
Nope.
Are they all friends of Michael Jackson?
I'm gonna get it wrong. I'm gonna get it wrong. Sorry, people at home.
Chris Rock. No, Chris
Christopher.
Brown.
Correct.
Wait, who is it?
I knew it.
Oh, is that the
From
bloke
Rush Hour, yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Last
didn't know
last
you
one
did.
now. Last one.
Right,
Really
last
quickly,
one.
right?
Great.
So So this person has become the youngest artist to win more than one Record of the Year Grammy, and she's only 19.
Billie Eilish.
Oh no, I was gonna get that! I don't do that!
Well, that's it for today's show, everyone. No. I hope you all enjoyed it.
I'm not getting invited back, am I?
Oh, you will be back. And I will
Thanks
be
to
out.
Kyle, Josh, and Kamaar for joining me. And yeah, don't forget to like, share, comment on any of our posts. Plus, we'll be back next week, Monday. So we'll see you then. And remember to tell the Mandem and Yaldem about Loose Mandem. So, bye bye.